All right, so let's get into some things. You worked at a bank. We know about that situation.
Several banks.
Yeah, well.
And savings and loans.
Okay. Well, you.
I had a back. It's safe to say I had a background in banking.
Well, background and foreground.
Yeah, background,
yeah.
pre-felony, and foreground after the felony.
Well, okay, all right. So, what made you think you can get away with that?
Oh, I did get away with it.
But you went to jail for.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, you have a 10-year. The statute of limitation is 10 years. If I had taken less money, it would have been a misdemeanor and not a felony, and I literally would have got away with it because I didn't get busted till about 12 years later.
Oh.
It's the amount of money that I took that made it a felony, and felonies, you can get arrested for a felony at 83 years old. So.
Can we tell how much you took?
$50,000.
Dang! And that was back then too.
Yeah.
Shit.
So that was like $150,000.
What made you think you could do that?
I'm gonna tell you why I did it. Being that I had an extensive background in banking.
Okay.
Working at, I think it was West Coast, I don't know. It was some bank that I was working at on Long Beach Boulevard in Long Beach.
Okay.
I had been through everything. I had been new accounts. I had been bookkeeper. I'd been everything, so I knew everything about the bank. I was taking them off before I stole the money, quite frankly.
Wow.
Doing some other little capers. But the tellers are the greeters of the bank.
Okay.
They're the people who know the customers better than anybody.
I was a bank teller.
Okay, so you know that. We are the ones who establish relationships with the customers.
Okay.
And after working, and I knew that this particular bank was going to go out of business because of the practices that they were doing and little stuff. I said, this bank's going to go out of business. Number one, red light. Then, when I got my paycheck, the amount of money that it was and the amount of money that I was exposed to.
Oh, I know that's right.
Was another red light. And then I also started working in the vault.
Ooh.
But you can't go in the vault alone. You have to go in the vault with somebody else. But don't turn your head, bitch.
Ooh.
Because now I got 50 racks in my bra.
All of a sudden, the Oakland came out of you?
The check pissed me off. The thought that the bank was going to go out, which it did, go out of business.
A lot of savings and loans were going out of business around that time.
Yeah, and I think it was West Coast Federal Savings, if I'm not mistaken. But, you know, the fact that the check was trash, the fact that I saw this bank going under, I saw it. And the fact that I was just, you know, kind of risky at that time in my life. And those three things added up to me taking the money.
So you were the first set it off.
You could say
that.
Okay. Which one
were you? Which one were you? Queen Latifah?
I was Vivica.
Okay. Ooh, that's right, Vivica. Okay.
I was Vivica.
I love it. I love it. Well, all right.
But I didn't use any weapons, okay? Anti-weapon.
I know that's right. Well, okay, so let's go with, you started doing comedy, and I remember you went to a place called, somebody want to tell me about it, Sweet Jimmy's. Don't act like you don't remember Sweet Jimmy's, girl.
I had been doing comedy way before that.
Before Sweet Jimmy's? You were popping Sweet Jimmy's.
Before I robbed the bank, let me see, or was it after? The first time I went on stage was at a place in Long Beach called Miss Wiz.
I remember.
And the first comedian that I met on the first night I ever did stand-up comedy was Robin Harris.
Really?
I met Robin the minute I stepped off stage on the first night I ever did stand-up. He came up to me and he said, you's a funny little bitch. This is the first day I ever did stand-up. I was like, thank you. And you are, he said, my name is Robin Harris. I got this club. And he gave me a card, which I still have at the house laminated now. Nice. It says Robin Harris, actor, comedian, MC. And it had his mother's phone number on it.
Wow.
At a 213 number.
That's old school.
Yeah. And then on the back, I had written the address to the comedy act that he gave me.
He gave you, right.
Then I went down there, and that's when I met like the DLs and the Jamies and Vince D's and Courtney G's.
Right, sure.
All that stuff.
But hold on, but then you went back to Sweet Jimmy. How did you get to Sweet Jimmy's? Because, I'll tell you why I'm saying that.
Because it took me 3 times to move to LA to make it stick.
Okay.
And then I was also on the run. So I had went back to Oakland. And when I went back to Oakland, I resumed, you know,
Right.
I was able to do comedy in friends of mine's clubs, and then the word got out, and then I was booked in almost all the clubs.
Okay.
Like I could do 4 clubs in a week in Oakland, and that was like unheard of for the amount of comics that were there, and I was the motherfucker that was
Right.
hosting all the rooms.
Turn me up a little bit. Turn me up a little bit.
If you like that clip, hit the subscribe button or the notification bell. In fact, why don't you hit both of them?